Okay. So pay attention. If we see Newton's second law, okay, Newton's second law. So Newton's second law says F resultant is equal to dP upon dt. Net force acting on an object is equal to rate of change of its linear momentum. Net force acting on an object is equal to net force acting on an object is equal to rate of change of its linear momentum. Okay. So F resultant is equal to dP upon dt. Now we know as P vector is equal to M V vector. So if I put this there, putting in equation 1. So what do we get? F resultant is equal to d by dt of mv vector. D by dt of mv vector. Now, if I simplify this further, suppose if I take this as u and this as v, I'm actually differentiating using u into v formula. That's why I am considering one as u, one as v. Okay. So if you consider these I'm not considering here m as constant. What I am considering here m is a variable. So m is also variable, v is also variable. Let us see what the differentiation will be. Okay. So it will be m first function into differentiation of second function plus second function into differentiation of first function. Okay. So our Newton's second law actually gives us this value. Our Newton's second law actually gives us this value. Now m dv by dt, m dv by dt is nothing but m into a vector. Okay, m into a vector. Why? Because as a vector is nothing but dv upon dt. Okay. Secondly, v into dm by dt. V into dm by dt. See, in usual cases, when mass of an object is constant, then dm by dt will be 0. If mass of an object is constant, so if m becomes constant, dm by dt will be 0 and this force would have been 0. But if mass of the object is changing, if mass of the object is changing, then dm by dt will not be 0. Dm by dt will not be 0. Then V into dm by dt will be a type of force and that is called F thrust. F thrust. So this part is important. Okay. So let me call this as equation 3 and let me call this as 4. Is it 3? No, it is 2. Let me call this as 2. Okay. So
Sir, could you please
equation
scroll up?
Okay, scholar.
Can you please scroll up even more?
This is the beginning.
Okay, sir.
So if, now comes the conclusion point. If mass of object, if mass of object does not remain same, if mass of object does not remain same, then one extra force we need to take in account, one extra force we need to one extra force we need to take in account. Okay, one extra force we need to take in account. This extra force is called, this extra force is called thrust. This extra force is called thrust. So this is very important. F thrust is equal to V vector into dm by dt. F thrust is equal to V into dm by dt. Okay. Now let me tell you when this force, or in which cases this force comes into picture. Listen everyone very carefully. Suppose you have a balloon, okay, and you have filled some air in the balloon and you are holding its what we can say hole tightly with your hand so that no air is going out. You are holding its orifice tightly so that no air is going out. So that balloon remains in its shape, correct? Now if you suddenly release it, then entire air comes out of it and that balloon moves like anything. Okay. So why this balloon behaves like this? Because of this force which is thrust. Because the air which is coming out of it, that air is changing the mass of the balloon, because air also has mass. It is coming out with some velocity. So V into dm by dt becomes a thrust. V into dm by dt becomes a thrust, and because of that thrust, that balloon moves. When entire air is gone out, then that balloon falls, and then after that it does not move. Okay. So thrust example of that we have seen here. If you want to see different example for any other example of thrust, suppose you are moving on road, on a bike or in a car, when there is heavy rain is going on. Okay, rain is falling heavily and you are moving on road. So what is happening? Due to that rain, you feel extreme either push or pull. Why? Because mass of rain is hitting you with some velocity. So dm by dt is the mass of rain which is hitting you every second, and v is some velocity with which the rain is hitting. So that is creating thrust on you. That is creating thrust on you. So that is also thrust force. Or suppose you are holding a pipe and that pipe, you have water is coming out of that pipe, and when you put the nozzle of pipe on some surface, then water goes and hits that surface, and due to that water exerts force on the surface. That is also example of thrust. You must have seen water cannons used by police to disperse people. Whenever people get gathered in a big number for protest or something, police use water cannon. So what water cannon does? From water cannon, water comes out with a great speed. It has mass, it has velocity, and mass is changing dm by dt. So that causes thrust force. That causes thrust force. Okay, and that is used to disperse people because it creates so much of force. All right. If you want to know, take further examples, then propulsion of rocket. Propulsion of rocket. When rocket is propelled, so what happens due to that? Gases come out of the rocket. Gases come out of the rocket. Let me show you the diagram. So suppose this is a rocket, okay, and it has initial mass of m naught. How much mass is there initially? M naught. Okay. Now when propulsion is taking place, gas is coming out of it. And how much gas is coming? Let's say small m kg per second. Alright. Now this gas will be coming out with some velocity. So let's say that velocity is u with respect to rocket. Alright. So due to that what happens? Force. Now gas is coming out in this direction. Gas is coming out in this direction. So F thrust acts in opposite direction. F thrust acts on rocket in opposite direction, and due to that this rocket moves, and due to that this rocket moves. All right.
U is the initial velocity of rocket, you said, no?
Huh?
So you said U is the initial velocity of rocket,
No,
no?
u is not initial velocity of the rocket. U is the velocity with which gas is ejected out of the rocket.
Okay, sir.
Gas is ejected out
Okay,
of the
sir.
rocket. Okay.
Yes, sir.
Mm-hmm. Okay, so let me tell you how this happens. So, rocket propulsion. Rocket propulsion. So, in the given situation, initial mass of a rocket is m naught. In the given situation, initial mass of a rocket is m naught, and and gases are ejecting out of the rocket. Gases are ejected out of the rocket with speed u naught, and u naught with respect to rocket. U naught with respect to rocket, and mass of gas ejected mass of gas ejected is, I am taking it as mu naught. Okay, mu naught kg per second. Okay, it could have been anything. I have taken this symbol as mu naught kg per second. Okay, so if at t is equal to t naught, if at t is equal to 0, let's say t is equal to 0. So if at t is equal to 0, gases started ejecting. If at t is equal to 0, gases started ejecting. Okay, then at t is equal to t, everyone please pay attention. Initial mass is m naught, correct? How much gases are being ejected every moment? mu kg per second. Correct. So after time t, how much mass would have been ejected? So the mass of rocket left will be m naught minus mu t at time t. Be very clear. Correct. If every second mu kg gases are releasing, so mass left will be m naught minus mu naught t. So the force which would have been acting downward due to gravity will be m naught minus mu naught t into g. That should be acting downward as gravity. How much should be F thrust? So F thrust
So what is the
F thrust is equal to U relative, this is U naught, into dm by dt. Dm by dt is nothing but mu naught. क्योंकि kg per second, it is mu naught only. Yeah, somebody was saying something.
so now I was just asking what is mu naught here?
Mu naught is mass of gas ejected per second.
Yeah, got it. So
Mass of gas ejected per second is mu naught. Now pay attention everyone. At this moment, upward force is F thrust, downward force is mg, and this is going to be our F resultant. This is going to be our F resultant, and that will cause acceleration of the object. Here object is our rocket. Here object is our rocket. Any doubt, any question so far? Okay. So if at t is equal to 0 gases started ejecting, then at t is equal to t by second law. By second law. So F thrust minus mg is equal to ma. F thrust minus mg is equal to ma. This will be the equation for the motion of rocket at that moment. Now F thrust is how much? U naught into dm by dt. Let me write it as dm by dt. I'll replace that dm by dt by mu naught in next step minus m. Now m at that moment is nothing but m naught minus mu naught t is equal into g is equal to m. So m at that moment is m naught minus mu naught t into a. So this will be further simplified equation. Okay. Now dm by dt, I am putting the value of dm by dt. So u naught into mu naught minus m naught minus mu naught t into g is equal to m naught. M naught is initial mass, remember, minus mu naught t into a. A, remember everyone, a is nothing but rate of change of velocity, dv by dt. dv by dt. Correct? So what we have got so far? I am dividing m naught. Pay attention what I am doing. I am dividing everything by this m naught minus mu naught t, m naught minus mu naught t, m naught minus mu naught t. Okay? So pay attention. dv upon dt is equal to u naught mu naught upon m naught minus mu naught t minus m naught minus mu naught t into g upon m naught minus mu naught t. And here also let me write one time, you might feel good for that. M naught minus mu naught t upon m naught minus mu naught t. So basically what I have done, I have divided both sides by m naught minus mu naught t. So if you are multiplying or dividing both sides by same number, value does not change. So this is going to cancel this is going to cancel this. So what equation is left with us? dv by dt is equal to u naught mu naught upon m naught minus mu naught t minus g. Okay, minus g. So this is dv by dt. What we are trying to find, let me tell you, we are trying to find velocity of rocket at any time t. So in next step, we can write dv is equal to, listen very carefully, u naught mu naught upon m naught minus mu naught t into dt minus g dt. So I have taken dt on other side. I have taken dt on other side. Now this equation, we can call this as equation 6. No, first, because we are using it for the first time in rocket propulsion. Or let me call this as 1 and call this as 2. So equation 2 is a differential equation. Equation 2 is a differential equation equation 2 is a differential equation. Okay, so by integrating both sides, अब मैं उसको solve कर रहा हूँ by integrating both sides. So integration dv is equal to, this u naught mu naught is constant, so you can take it out of integration. Integration dt upon m naught minus mu naught t minus g is constant, you can take it out, g dt. Okay, now listen very carefully. Initial velocity of rocket was 0. Initial velocity of rocket was 0. Time initial was t is equal to 0, 0. So these are the initial parameters. When time was 0, velocity of rocket was 0, right? So when time will become t, velocity will become v. And that is what we are trying to find, that how much is the velocity at time t, right? So that is how our limits are going to change. That is how our limits are going to change, correct? So integration dv will become v, limit is from 0 to v, is equal to u naught mu naught. Now if you remember, I am just giving you the method to integrate. Integration dx upon ax plus b, the value of that was 1 upon a log of ax plus b. Let me make it neat. Log of ax plus b. Okay, now in here pay attention, m naught is basically b and mu naught t is basically ax. Okay, in fact you can use minus sign also. All right, so integration dt upon m naught minus mu naught t, so that will be log of m naught minus mu naught t into 1 upon minus mu naught. Why? Because mu naught is multiplying with t. So whatever multiplies with x goes in denominator. Whatever multiplied with x goes in denominator. So 1 upon a came here. Here t is our variable. So whatever is multiplying with t, which is minus 1 upon mu naught, so that goes in denominator. Alright. And that is our limit 0 to t minus g excuse me, this dt will become t, and this limit is very easy to put, 0 to t. Alright. So this gt part is simple to execute. Now see further. So this mu naught gets cancelled. This becomes v minus 0 is equal to minus, I have taken up this minus sign. So minus u naught into, so let me apply upper limit. So upper limit will be log of m naught minus mu naught t minus, now I am putting lower limit. So in place of t, I am going to put 0. So that will be log of m naught. Why? Because minus mu naught t will be 0. So this is for this minus gt. Okay. So if now we further simplify this, so we get v is equal to minus let me take this minus inside. Let me take this minus inside. So v is equal to u naught log of m naught minus log of m minus mu naught t. You can call this as m naught. Okay, minus gt. Now we have almost concluded. So if you remember, log of m minus log of n is equal to log of m by n. Log of m by n. This is property of log. If you remember, log m minus log n is equal to log of m by n. I am going to use this to write the final answer. So v is equal to u naught log of m naught upon m naught minus mu t minus gt. So this formula, this is equation number which one? 3. So equation 3 will give velocity of rocket as a function of time. Please note everyone. Okay. See, as I was explaining you everything, listen very carefully. As I was explaining you everything, that's why I need to write, or I needed to write all the steps. Okay. Suppose if they ask you in your school, derive formula for rocket propulsion. So what you can do, you can write the first step. Okay. You can write the first step means you can write F thrust is equal to, I am telling you which steps you need to write if they ask. This step, after that this step, then you can skip this, then this step. Okay, then this step, and then this step, and then you can write this step directly. So you can give your answer in 5 steps rather than writing and explaining each step the way I did. Not needed. It is not needed.
So please scroll.
Hmm? Is it okay?
So I wanted the starting steps which you told we should write. Yes, sir.
So can you show the diagram once?
Diagram is a rocket.
Okay, sir. Thank you, sir.
All right. Noted, everyone. So practice this 2 times after the class. All right. One time by copying what we have done here. Okay. By observing that, okay, this step has been done, this step has been done, this step has been done, this step has been done. First time you can copy from your notebook. Second time when you are doing the derivation, then you should not take help of notebook. You do it yourself, and after that see whether you are able to do it by yourself completely or not. If you face any difficulty, then you can take help of your notebook. Okay, so 2 times you need to derive this today after the class. All right. So this was one separate topic which some people might ask in school. All right. Okay. So the important point.
Excuse me, sir.
Yes.
So will there be any classes during the Mount Literacy School exams?
It's a good question. We'll see. Okay, we'll inform you.
So tests also will not be there during the exam.
Test definitely will not be there during exam.
Okay, sir.
Okay.
Excuse me, sir.
Yes.
So this derivation type of questions usually for how many marks? How many marks are they asked?
If this type of question is there in school, then it will be for minimum 3 marks.
Okay, sir.
Okay. Okay.
Yes, thank you.
Mhm. Now there is something called constrained equation, which is used in physics. What it is called? Constrained motion. Now what is meaning of that constrained motion? Try to understand. Everyone please pay attention. This is very interesting topic. Very interesting topic. Okay. Suppose if I ask you one question, everyone please pay attention. Suppose this is you as a person, right? And if you move, if you enter somewhere, if you go somewhere, then your head, hands, legs, stomach, all of them move together, correct? And then you reach somewhere. Never it happens that head is moving faster, then hands are following, then tummy, and then legs are following. No. All of this, all of this person, complete person, is moving together. Right? So, this is such a obvious thing in our life that we don't take it as important activity. But it is really very important as far as physics is concerned. Why? Because when you are moving as a complete person, everyone please pay attention. When you are moving as a complete person, then acceleration of your head, acceleration of your hands, acceleration of your stomach, and acceleration of your legs, acceleration of all four is equal. Okay, and it's a big relief. It's a big relief. Suppose if all four acceleration of your head, hands, stomach and legs are different, then it will be very difficult for anyone to solve. Because if you are applying F resultant is equal to ma, then which acceleration we are going to use? Acceleration of head or hands or stomach or legs? This would have been a big problem if this constraint would not have been there, that when you are moving as a person, your whole body is moving together. Okay? Again, as I told you in the beginning, sometimes some things are very obvious, and because of that we do not value that obviousness. We do not value that obviousness. So when you consider that you are moving together as a body, it makes your life simple. It makes your life simple. And how it is making your life simple? You use one value of A for the whole body. You use one value of A acceleration for the whole body. Right? Now suppose if whole body is not moving with same acceleration or same velocity, then what to do? Then how to find that, okay, which point is moving with how much velocity or which point is moving with how much acceleration? Then you find yourself in a difficult position, right? And then you try to find the relation using certain other methods. Then you try to find relation using certain other methods. Okay, so let me explain this by one example. Let me explain this by one example. So for example, everyone please pay attention. Suppose this is a wall and this is a ground. This is wall and there is a rod. There is a rod, or you can say ladder, leaning on the wall. Length of ladder is L. Length of ladder is L. This angle at any moment is theta. Suppose this point is A. Suppose this point is B. Now the question says if. Question says, I am giving you a question. If point A is slipping, if point A is slipping, point A of rod, rod means ladder. So if point A of rod is slipping with velocity u, find velocity of end B, or you can say point B at that moment. At that moment, everyone please find. Please find. Attempt this and then I'll be discussing.
So what is that after velocity?
Velocity.
So what is that after find velocity of?
Find velocity of end B.
Okay, sir. Thank you.
You can say point B also, because point B is end of the rod. So find velocity of end B at that moment. Okay, everyone, please pay attention. I just wanted you to attempt this. Everyone, please pay attention. So, in such type of questions, what we do, I am considering distance of this point from this end O as x, okay, and distance of this point as y. All right. So distance of end B is y, distance of end A is x, and this distance is measured from the foot of the wall, and that end is, or that point is O. All right. This is easy question. You can easily understand. Now pay attention, everyone. By Pythagoras theorem. By Pythagoras theorem. So what we can write is x square plus y square is equal to L square, because L is the length of rod. Any doubt, any question in this, anyone? X square plus y square is equal to L square. Any doubt, any question, anyone? All right. Now, differentiating with respect to time. This is the equation which we got. Differentiating equation 1 with respect to time. So d by dt of x square plus d by dt of y square is equal to d by dt of L square. Okay. Now what is L? L is the length which is constant. So d by dt of L square will be 0. Alright. Pay attention further. D by dt of x square, it will be 2x into dx by dt. Pay attention to the detail. Differentiation of x square is 2x, and after that differentiation of x with respect to time is dx by dt. All right. Similarly, d by dt of y square, so it will be 2y into dy by dt, and that is
Can you
equal
please
to
explain
0.
again how is d by dt x square?
D by dx of x square is how much? 2x. But
Yes,
here
sir.
it is d by dt of x square. So what you need to do? You need to differentiate x square, which will be 2x. After that you need to differentiate x with respect to time. Because
Okay,
here
sir.
dx by dx could have been 1.
Yes, sir. Understood, sir.
Alright? Alright.
Yes, sir.
Now this 2 and 2 got cancelled. So this x, now listen what is dx by dt. Everyone please pay attention. Dx by dt is basically rate of change of distance of point A, or you can say rate of change of position of point A. So dx by dt is nothing but VA. Dx by dt is nothing but VA. So dx by dt became VA plus y. Dy by dt similarly will be dy by dt is rate of change of this. So that will be VB. That will be VB. And that is equal to 0. Alright. So that gives us further VB is equal to minus x into VA upon y. Minus x into VA upon y. So this becomes VB. Now pay attention everyone from the diagram. Y is perpendicular because it is opposite to theta. So y upon x is tan theta. Y upon x is equal to tan theta. Okay. So VB is equal to minus VA into x upon y will be cot theta. This is the answer. This is the answer. Please note everyone. Please note everyone. Noted?
Can you please scroll up a bit? Done, sir.
Okay. Question. I don't want you to use the formula directly. Okay. Remember that. I want you to attempt this. A ladder is as shown if velocity of and B at the given moment, if velocity of and B at the given moment is 10 meter per second, is 10 meters per second, find velocity of and A, or you can say point A. Everyone please find. Okay, everyone, please pay attention. As I told you, you should not use the formula directly, otherwise you can put in this value and get the answer. Okay. So what we can write again is, this is x, this is y. So x square plus y square is equal to L square. Differentiating 2x into dx upon dt plus 2y into dy upon dt is equal to 0. 2 got cancelled. X into dx by dt is VA plus y into VB is equal to 0. Now VB is given how much? 10 meter per second. So VA is equal to minus y by x into 10 because VB is 10. Now y by x is 1053. Y by x is 1053. So VA is equal to minus 10 into 1053. 1053 is nothing but 4 by 3. So minus of 40 by 3 meters per second. See, by solving it in front of you within few seconds or minutes, you can say, I demonstrated that this can be solved very easily without memorizing the formula. Okay, so when you practice, you also develop this skill, and I want you to develop this skill. Okay, everyone, I want you to develop this skill for yourself. All right, good. So this was again based on constraint. And what was the constraint? That length of rod is remaining constant. Length of ladder is remaining constant. So we utilized that. Okay. Now let me tell you one interesting thing. We have already used a few constraints. Huh?
Scroll
Okay.
up a little. Done.
We have already used one constraint while we were solving pulley related questions. Okay, we have already used one constraint. And what was that? Let me tell you. When we were solving questions related to pulley, we considered that acceleration of both pulleys is equal. So if this is going down by A, we considered that this is going up by A. Remember? That was actually based on constraint. And what was the constraint? That length of pulley remains constant, total length. So if this end is going down, then this end has to go up. Secondly, the distance by which this end is going down, this end will have to go up by equal distance, right? So we already used a constraint. As I told you, there are many times obvious things happening in front of us and we don't consider, we don't even pay attention to that, and we use it unknowingly. So unknowingly, while we were solving these questions, unknowingly we utilize the constraint motion. We utilize the constraint motion. Similarly, as in a same way, suppose if a person is running and we considered, okay, acceleration of person is A. By considering that acceleration of head, acceleration of hands, acceleration of stomach and acceleration of leg is same. Okay, so we do that many times. We do that many times. All right, everyone. Okay, so just a second. Everyone, please pay attention. Question. This is one pulley. This is another pulley. These pulleys are identical. And one mass is hanging here. M. This is going by U. This is going by u. Okay, this angle is theta. This angle is theta. Then the question is, this is v. Question says find relation between u and v. Everyone please attempt. Everyone please attempt. You need to find relation between u and v. U is velocity of this end. U is velocity of this end. V is velocity of block which is hanging. Please find. Ibyal, this is answer to which question? Your unit is meter per second square. Are you finding acceleration? Ibyal, forget about value. Your answer is not dimensionally correct. If an answer is dimensionally incorrect, it must be incorrect. Remember? Everyone, please pay attention. Please pay attention. In this question, what we are doing, I'm considering this point as O, okay, this distance as X, this distance as Y, and this as L, okay. Please pay attention to this. Y is the vertical distance of M, X is the horizontal distance of O, O to X, and then L. Again by Pythagoras theorem. By Pythagoras theorem. So what we can write is x square plus y square is equal to L square. X square plus y square is equal to L square. All right. Differentiating with respect to time. Differentiating with respect to time. Everyone, please pay attention to this step. So d by dt of x square plus dy by dt of y square is equal to d by dt of L square. All right. Now here x, can you see it is constant? So as x remains constant, its differentiation will be 0. Why? Because distance of point O from this end is constant. All right. Now differentiation of y square will be 2y dy by dt is equal to differentiation of L square is 2L dl by dt. So 2 get cancelled. Dy by dt, listen very carefully. Dy by dt is rate of change of this, that will be v. So y into v is equal to L into dl by dt, and dl by dt is, pay attention everyone, u. So v comes out to be L upon y into u. L upon y into u. Now what is y? What is L? L is hypotenuse. L is hypotenuse and y is base. So that will be sec theta. So either you can write v is equal to u by cos theta, or you can write v is equal to u sec theta. This is the answer. Understood everyone? Understood everyone?
Can you please explain from the step 2y dy by dt is equal to 2l dl by dt again?
I cancelled 2 by this side 2 and that side 2. Is it clear?
Yes, sir.
Acha. I kept y
Inside,
as
so it is 2l d what, sir, by dt?
dl by dt.
Okay, sir.
If you are differentiating L, it will be dl by dt, no?
Okay, sir. No, I thought it was something.
No, it is dl by dt.
Okay, sir.
Okay. dl by dt means rate of change of length of rope.
Yes.
Noted, everyone? Noted?
Yes.
Okay. 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 Next. Sir, what's the format of the paper for MLZS exam physics paper? Actually, I talked to your principal and she'll be posting question papers of last year in the your group. Okay, so you'll be getting that. Don't worry. I discussed this with ma'am. I told that student need to know that what kind of paper they will be getting. So she said, okay, we'll be posting last year's paper. Okay, this will help you in preparing for the exam. Question. Everyone, please keep your mics muted. Chetra, Chetra, Chetra. Everyone, please pay attention. In this question, we have one block which is M1, which is hanging vertically. All right. This is pulley. This is pulley. Okay. And this is the same string. This is the same string which is passing over this pulley and this. So the question is find number one relation between acceleration of m1 and m2, and second step is find acceleration of m1 and m2. ओके सो पहले केस में तो अपने को क्या पता करना है कि m1 और m2 के एक्सेलरेशंस के बीच में जो रिश्ता है वो रिश्ता क्या कहलाता है. And in second step, we actually are finding that how much is the value of acceleration of m1 and m2. All right. So please attempt. Please attempt.
So that string is connected to what, sir?
This string, this end is fixed and other end is going over this pulley, then again over this pulley and then fixed to
Okay, sir. So
end
it
of
is pulling.
F1. Yes.
Okay, yeah.
I have clearly mentioned this is pulley, this is pulley. Hmm?
No, I meant the mass is pulling the other mass.
Yes.
Yes, sir.
Okay, everyone, please pay attention. You have been given enough time. You have been given enough time. Everyone, please pay attention. Please pay attention. So what I am doing, I am considering this point as O, and which point? It is the pulley which is fixed. All right. And I am considering this as x1 and this as x2. Okay. What is x1? x1 is distance of m1 from O. What is x2? x2 is virtually the distance of m2 from O. So what you can note is x1 plus x2 plus x2. That means x1 plus 2x2 is equal to L. L is the length of rope. x1 plus 2x2 is equal to L. L is length of rope, total length of rope, total complete length of rope. All right. Differentiating with respect to time. Differentiating with respect to time. So dx1 upon dt plus dt, not dt1. dx1 upon dt plus 2 times dx2 upon dt is equal to 0 because length total of rope is constant. So dx1 upon dt will be v1 plus 2v2 is equal to 0. This equation gives you relation between velocities of blocks. Let us differentiate once again, bhaiyo bahno. Differentiating again. So a1 plus 2a2 is equal to 0. That means a1 is equal to minus 2 times a2. Now what is meaning of that? Try to understand. That means acceleration of this lower hanging block is double the acceleration of, that means this acceleration, suppose if this is a, then this will be 2a. If acceleration of m2 is a, then acceleration of m1 is double that value. Okay, so we have found the relation between acceleration of m1 and m2. This part we have done, right? Any doubt, any question in this? Anyone? Any doubt, any question in this? Anyone? Any doubt, any question in this? Anyone? Good. Now let us talk about finding the actual value of accelerations. So I'm using red color to avoid any kind of confusion. Pay attention. M1G is acting downward. Tension is acting here. Now for M2, M2G is acting downward. N is acting vertically upward, which is actually useless, but still. Tension is T, tension is T. So for M1, M1G minus T is equal to M1 into 2A. Okay, equation number 1. For M2, so T here and T here, 2T. So 2T is equal to M2 into A, equation number 2. When you are going to solve this equation, you are going to get the value of A. A is acceleration of this block. Remember that. A is acceleration of M2. Everyone, please solve this equation. Please solve these equations and get the answers. M1G minus T is equal to M1 into 2A and 2T is equal to M2 into A. Please solve and get the answers. Please solve and get A comes out to be, Yash is saying 2m1g upon 4m1 plus m2. Okay, let me simplify this now. What I am doing, I am multiplying this by 2 and then adding. So 2t will get cancelled. So this will be 2m1g is equal to 4m1 plus m2 into A. Bhaiyo Bahno, A comes out to be 2m1g upon 4m1 plus m2. Okay, that comes out to be 2m1g upon 4m1 plus m2. All right, everyone. Any doubt, any question? Okay, so whatever we have done today, everyone, I want you to go through it at least 2-3 times. Okay, try to solve all these questions by yourself once again, once, twice, thrice, so that you can become expert in this. Okay, saying this, we have completed this chapter. Now whatever small topics or concepts are left, those will be covered through question solving. Okay, everyone. So that is enough for today. See you in the next class. All right.
Thank you, sir.